Hello, Chris. How about me? Can you hear me? Audio?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Whoa,
Yeah.
all over the place.
So we've got only Jen is running the meeting on my laptop and I'm sitting here. Looking at myself, now I'm looking at you. Are you in Iowa?
I am in Iowa. I'm at a internet challenged location. It only works in the lobby. And they're getting ready for dinner. So now I'm sitting in the entryway, kind of a 3-season room. So it echoes a little bit, but it's as good as it gets.
You gonna have dinner?
No way. I'm gonna go have dinner with a friend of mine after this. So let's do this in a hurry. No, it's like there's 10 people here that have COVID.
Yeah, and we are on YouTube, by the way.
So this is like, stays up on the side.
This should be pretty straightforward, right, John?
Yes.
I mean, anybody else have substantive questions about it? Besides Nehemiah, was he the only one who had anything to say about it?
Yes, I did not talk to Foy. I left him a couple messages and said, call me if you have any questions. But I believe everyone is ready. Whoa, I thought Jen was at a different spot. I saw actual human Jen.
Where am I? I can't tell where the camera's picking me up.
Part of it.
It's chasing me around. No, Chris and I are side by side.
So. So it's simple agenda, John. We've just got minutes, the action item, date of next meeting.
Perfect.
And we asked Hogel Hogel and his representative to.
Speak off and tell us what we want to know.
Yeah, the percent. So they should be prepared to do that. And we have the other exhibits up on the screen. Otherwise.
And I've told that to Jack as well, who should get some kind of a prize for all the work he's done.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I talked to Jack last week, so. Hi, Roger.
Hi.
Oh my gosh,
Oh my gosh. Oh, person.
the mayor,
person.
hello.
Ah,
Last nice day for a walk in Alta, so
it sure is.
I'm sure we'll have some others.
So,
You gonna sit there?
that's why I'm not the chairman. I'm the ex officio. So
I think you're the only one here though, so I'm gonna have this be nice.
really, I'm the only in-person person?
Well, Chris.
Yeah,
Chris, it could be nice if you sit next to Roger. I don't know if you think that's.
Marin was,
Jack
Why is
Berry
that?
Rock.
Marin's, the other Canyon Planning Commission member who,
Want to show up?
she was gonna join like during a layover, but then her flights changed and now she's on an airplane, so. I don't believe we did this. I mean, we didn't really. Not the pro general, but she convinced me that we ought to have an anchor location.
I think that's a good idea.
Justifying fully remote meetings is pretty tough these days. So, and we didn't really, tell the commission about that in advance or let them have a say in it. We imposed the decision on them
There are.
and, so we can move, but, we should.
You don't expect any other in-person persons, huh?
No.
My gosh.
Well, and the only other thing I'd say, knowing that Jack is listening to this, is that a long time ago, Nepstead said, if we just have this one issue, and it's pretty straightforward and pretty quick, let's just do one last Zoom. And the amount of work that Jack Berry from Rock Hill Engineering did on surveying the interior of the units and correcting, bringing us up to today, this is not a simple matter, but it's simple for the planning commission.
Okay, got it.
He's chair, and there it is. Yeah.
Were you just asking?
Yeah.
I thought I'd be alone out standing in my field, but here we all are.
Yeah. Here we are.
Good
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Don Nedstead. In
Yes.
the, before the 3 minutes, in the 3 minutes before the official time starts, you talked about a walkabout,
Yes,
and I think that's a great idea. So we can either do it today, tomorrow, or it'll be a ski about.
I'm all into ski. We've done ski abouts in the past too, Roger, so I'm good with that. I know it's gonna start getting nasty Thursday.
Yeah.
Wednesday night, yeah.
Nasty is the wrong term, John.
It's gonna get great.
Yeah.
It's,
It's fine.
it's
Conditions will
gonna,
change.
it's gonna get send it, bro.
Do we want speaker view when someone, yeah, that's what you
It's
can.
Send
Yeah,
it,
that's fine.
send it, bro, doesn't work at Alta. That's snowboard language.
Not with my 13-year-old skier. It's become universal.
Ah,
The free ride world of skier bros launching it off cliffs.
yeah.
Hello, all.
Hey, Rob.
Hello, Rob.
So John, you still working?
Yes.
No, that's John.
Oh,
John Nepstead.
Yes, I am. Yep.
Oh,
Yep. Still just got off a plane from a project up in Boise and heading to Durango Thursday for another project. And yeah, it's like working away. Working in a few other resorts. Trying to get some things changed.
How
A few
old's
other-
your son now, John?
He's 13.
Ooh, so is he leaving you in the dust?
Oh, he left me on the hill at age 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that just rationalizes me to upgrading my skis every year because I got to try to keep up. Of course, it never happens, but then I can buy things and feel good about it.
I recall that I once said that the trouble with teaching your kids to ski young is they get better than you before you're ready for it.
Oh yeah, it was about age 5 or 6. I don't know who that says more about, him or me or whatever.
Yeah.
But we won't go there. Oh, the meeting's got to start. That's it. We can't talk about that. The meeting's got
Yeah.
to start. Yeah. Thanks, Rob. Yeah, well, he'll be up at Alta over the holidays, I'm sure. We're in the traveling stage too for competitions.
Well, Mr. Chair, I think we
Yes.
have our, all of our attendees here, so.
Dave should be
Dave.
joining.
Dave Abraham, I apologize. Maren will not be here today. FYI, I don't think maybe John Goldner let you know that, but Maren, her flight changed and she's in the air right now, so.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let's wait a few seconds for Dave, if we don't mind, everyone. So. And Polly's in Antarctica, or is she back or?
I think she's still there.
Yeah.
She'll be back on the 30th.
I've heard from penguins.
Come on, Dave.
No, I just don't want to.
Said that you were in a.
Oh,
Oh, no, I just didn't want to steal the library folder. So this works perfectly. Thank you.
I thought you were gonna get evicted there, John.
I've been evicted from the library. I'm in an internet challenge spot. The only place it works is in the lobby, and there's people and they don't want to hear me yelling. Well, you don't want to hear me yelling either, but. So now I'm in the sunroom entryway. Looking at the 25-mile-an-hour blistery winds.
Mason, are you in Mason City?
Cedar Falls,
Cedar Falls, okay.
82 degrees. Tomorrow's gonna be 38
Yeah,
and
yeah,
raining.
we're gonna have the south wind here tomorrow, and then Thursday, or tomorrow night, it'll shift.
First
So-
of all, have we got snow on the ground up there?
No, I mean, a little bit up on the north facing areas, but nothing significant.
Well, maybe we can get started with, let's see, do we have enough to even get started? There's just three, there are three of us. Yeah, we can get started. I know Dave is going to join. So why don't we begin our Alta Planning Commission of Tuesday, October 26th. We are not going to do the location discussion, so some people are located live, and we will talk about that at the end in terms of our future meetings too.
Just a clarification point. I believe today is the 24th, not the 26th.
Oh, you're right. I'm looking at my computer here. There is the 24th. Thank you. Stand corrected there, the 24th. Hopefully everybody's getting ready for our gathering nuts for the winter ahead, and should be hopefully not as crazy as last year. I'm hoping Little Cottonwood stays open and doesn't have 92 road hits, so that Snow Basin isn't so crazy. Because that had a direct impact. It has an impact over the entire Wasatch when, I think everybody knows when that road closes. So hopefully everybody's had a good summer. It wasn't too crazy hot compared to the previous three, which was nice. And does anybody else have any other opening welcoming remarks, any updates? You're welcome to, before we dive into the formal agenda.
Hey, a little off topic. I got Fitzgerald's book on your recommendation.
Oh, good.
And enjoyed it immensely.
Good, good, good. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. That's great. Also, along the lines of avalanche control, I don't know if how many of you all met or worked with Bill Nally, formerly. It took Liam's spot at UDOT. He passed away over the summer, which is really unfortunate. He was a great guy, a good friend, and died way too young. And I know there was at the avalanche control program, we'll miss him throughout the state. And but just don't want to see that happen to someone in their 40s. But for those who may not have known that, I want to pass that along. So let's on a better note, let's talk about our minutes from July. Anybody get a chance to look at those?
Yep, I reviewed the minutes and didn't see any corrections that I would make, so I would actually make a motion. We approve the minutes.
Very good. Jeff's made a motion. Is there a second out there?
I'll second.
Thank you. All three of us in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so there we go. Oh, there's Dave. We just did the minutes from July, Dave, so we approved those. Do you want to go back on, talk about those, or are you good? Oh, Dave's connecting. There you are. Now you're on mute.
Good afternoon.
There we go. So Dave, we just approved the July minutes. We're going to keep moving, if you're okay.
Yes, that's good by me.
Okay. Item number 3, discussion and possible action, request to amend the sugar a PUD Phase 1 condominium plat to allow expansion of the units into the HOA common area, and specifically the deck on Unit 6. I'm going to turn this over to John initially, and I know there are others who are going to discuss this with us.
This, as I said earlier, this is a very difficult process for Jack and the applicant and the people that live in phase 1. There's 7 units there. But for the planning commission, it's really simple. The applicant is requesting to extend his unit 13.5 feet out, and then extend the deck 13 feet 3 inches, extend the deck 14 feet 3 inches. The problem with that is they only own the interior of their units, so any expansion beyond that would be expansion on the common area. So the applicant is asking to be able to amend the private area by adding 13.5 feet 3 inches to that, and then adding a 14-foot 3-inch deck to the existing common area. We initially said, no, you can't do this because you can't extend into common area. He informed us that other units have already done this. So in our negotiations back and forth, our attorney Polly McLean had Jack Berry, who was with us today, do a complete survey of all the units. So in addition to, and we would recommend approving this thing as submitted. It fits, it works, it doesn't really alter the PUD in any way, shape, or form. There's no variances. The addition is small, it stays within the lot for this particular phase. But the bonus that we get today is after Jack Berry has done all this work, so we now will know every single square foot of interior private area as it has evolved over the past 30 years, almost 40 years, as well as this proposed expansion. So I think with that introduction, I'll turn it over to Jack. And if you want to talk about anything else, I mean, it's hard to talk about this because it's like a 13-foot expansion of an existing unit. But now we're bringing everything else up to date. So we know exactly today, with all the additions over the last 40 years, you know, what's private, what's common.
Well, I think you covered it well, John. I thought that if I didn't do the whole structure, you'd veto the whole thing because you knew that these people had been doing some things in Sugar Plum over these years. It was a little bit too obvious. So I chose to just, convince Patrick, and he's talked to the HOA. We did the all 7 units just because we thought that I'd just be sent packing back to the starting line again if we just did one. Because it's not, of course, it's not just Patrick, it's the whole HOA because they own the structure.
Jack, do you have anything handy in terms of a visual for us right brain people here that could help us understand before or after what's in arrears, what's being proposed?
I could share my screen, I guess.
Sorry to pop this on you, but that would be helpful.
Let me see if I can pop this up. Where's my screen share? Okay, right there.
There's a couple of pictures, and then there's one interior drawing that clearly shows a highlighted blue area of 13 feet 2 inches as it expands, and then a 14-foot 3-inch deck. That's a very simple, easy to understand drawing. Good.
Oh, here it is. I'm sorry. Yeah.
But great pictures too.
Are you going to bring it up, John?
No, go ahead.
Well, you can probably bring up the one you want.
And I don't have that here.
So Jen, why don't you bring up the town website? Jen's got the exhibits that we posted on online available. So we have kind of a compressed version of the entire application available. And let's see, 46 pages. This is a series of highlights. So Jen, do you want to bring up that staff report for a moment? Yeah, so I have an application highlight compilation here. And it includes, a letter from the applicant, the proposed amended condo plat, architectural drawings, aerial photos of the sugar plum townhouses and then, email from HOA members approving the proposal.
Right.
So,
Over
Go ahead,
there,
John.
there, let's go there. Yeah,
Okay.
with that, yep. Yeah, I think it's, let's start with drawing 2, page 2, first drawing.
Greg. Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Ooh, this is
So-
perfect. That, the unit
Yeah.
that we're talking about is just to the bottom of your screen, closest to the bypass road. And you can see the 2 little squares that show the additional inside and the exterior deck.
Over
This
here,
is-
John?
no, it's on the other end, the deck's on the other end.
Oh.
Isn't that right, John? They're on the north side, the decks.
No, the back,
the
I mean,
opposite way.
closer to the bypass road.
Okay,
That
Right
one.
there.
In the back, that's the front. Nothing's happening up there. Go to the back.
Those are 2 parking spaces.
Those things right
There
there.
it is. That's the addition.
And that was an existing deck?
Yes, it was open before and they're closing it in and closing it. There's the next sheet will kind of show that in profile.
Jack, is that a 4-season enclosure? I mean, it may be a dumb question, but is that when you say enclosed? I know sometimes it's 3 seasons.
It will completely be an enclosed private space. And
Okay,
then in the very back by the angle point, they're just enclosing the deck. So the deck will have a roof. So like snow won't pile up. Snow piled up so deep there this winter that it went up against all their glass in their kitchen.
right.
So there'll be like a covered deck right at the angle point, and then just inside of that, they'll enclose it all the way down. Similar to like the unit right next to it, by the way.
Does anybody in the HOA, is anybody opposed to this in the HOA?
No,
I can't help but ask though about where they're adding square footage, livable 4-season square footage space. Probably not, doesn't look like very much. Couple hundred square feet.
it's more than a few hundred. I have that detailed out on, I can't remember which sheet, but
Well,
it's in one of the profiles.
I guess that's up to the county assessor to add that to the taxable living space, huh?
Do you want me to
That's-
show any other of these graphics that are in this packet or?
Just that first sheet was good, June, thanks.
And if you go down to the next sheet, you can kind of see how it looks in, like right there.
Um,
So existing is how it is right now. And then the lower profile is how it will look. That, on the very far left is that covered deck.
on the lower 2 keys.
So that's all gonna be, that's all engineered to, for snow load and all that stuff, the sort of that the new roof.
It is, the architectural plans have had a structural engineer involved in it. And following this process, we will immediately go into the normal building permit application process.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else have any questions or thoughts, concerns? I just,
Well, this is Jeff. I'm willing to make a motion at this point, if you're at that point, Mr. Chair.
I got. Okay, sure. I'll take that motion. There's been a motion to approve.
Yeah, well, let me,
Um,
I have it detailed.
Is there a second?
Hey, John, I have a more detailed motion, so let me read my motion. So first of all, I want to thank
Not quite
the
yet.
applicant for
That's okay.
going.
Let's go back. Rob and Dave, you're chewing on some things I can see, which is fine.
No, I'm not.
You're
I'm,
muted, Rob. Rob,
can you
start
hear me?
over.
Can you
Rob?
hear me?
John's having trouble.
Rob,
Can you
start
hear me?
over.
I can hear Rob.
Hey, yeah,
I think your headphones, John. It's,
Well, anyway, I'm not chewing on anything. I'm waiting for
Is it me?
Nehemiah's
mhm.
proposal, his motion.
I actually had one more question and maybe it was answered already, but does the bylaws or is there some updating that happens based on everybody's units, Jack? Kind of seems like this was done previously, so there's probably some update to a HOA document of some kind.
There is this, the CCRs have been updated.
Okay.
That's in the application packet.
Yep, I
Um,
was trying to find that again. It was a big package, and so we're sifting through them all. But that sounds good if that's the intent to update those.
That
And
was,
here's a side note on that, by the way, because it kind of confused me, is that the plat, this is the first amended plat, but the codes, covenants, and restrictions have been amended like 2 or 3 times. So there's a different amendment number on the CCRs than the plat. And so when you look at that, if it's confusing, it's because it is confusing.
I'll cover that in my motion. So again, am I ready for a motion?
Yes, we are. Yeah,
So again, I'd like to thank the applicant, and I appreciate them going through the extra effort of updating the entire properties within this plat, so we can get it all up to date. And I would move that we approve the application and the plat amendment as submitted to the town of Alta, subject to 2 conditions. The first condition being that a current and updated title report be provided to the town of Alta that encompasses all of the properties shown on the plat. And the second condition, that the town council, legal counsel, determine that the appropriate signators are shown on the plat before it's recorded.
Is that a council action or just, are you asking for a review by council or they?
By, not the city town council, legal counsel.
Oh, legal counsel. Got it.
So Jeff, may I respond to that?
You may.
First of all, I love the fact that you went over signatories. So my understanding is that John Nepstead, as the chairman of the planning commission, will sign the plat at the end of the day. Is that correct? I do have a planning commission signatory block at the bottom of that first page.
Yeah, that I'm not sure of. I guess I'm more concerned about the various properties that have been amended. If there are in fact liens on these properties that are held by some banking institution, we don't want to get ourselves in a mess where we've approved changes to somebody's townhouse or their interest in a common space through their ownership of that townhouse and their HOA. So I just like, based on the current title report, that the town's legal counsel just review that title report and then make sure that the appropriate people are signing that plat for conveyances of any sorts of property.
Okay, now wouldn't it be, just back to the first question, was the planning commission chairman will have to sign the plat, correct? I'm just working through one signature. I'll get to the others here in a minute.
Okay.
Cameron, I'm
That's
gonna turn to you on that. I don't,
Yeah, so yes, I think the planning commission chair can sign the agreement authorizing the amendment to the plat. The recording of the plat is gonna be a separate recording, as I understand it. The plat amendment is a separate
That's-
recording.
right.
Cameron, what I'm doing on that is I'm having the county look at the plat as a survey document, and once I'm sure it makes it through the county and they don't have any comments, like they might say something like, oh, describe that monument different, or who knows what. Then I'm gonna take the Mylar up to Alta. My idea was I take a Mylar up to Alta, have the planning commissioner sign it, or planning commission chairman. Then, to get to the next signatures, we'll have the management committee of the HOA, and those are the three people I show on the plat now: Dennis McEvoy, Scott Peterson, and Michael Schmelzer. So I thought those, and I think it's great that you vet those out, that those are the right people. But those who I thought would be the signatories to this plat, as well as myself.
Right, and those are the ones, I guess, that I'm not sure, and I want legal counsel to review those documents if they do in fact have that authority to sign on behalf of all of the other property owners. And because you're amending everybody's legal interest in that property by doing this amended
Jeff,
plat.
are you asking that, make sure that we have the right people signing the document?
Correct. And if based on the title report, there are some liens on various parcels for whatever reason, and that, any release of lien signatures and things like that are in place.
You mean mortgages or like mechanics liens?
All of the above. Anybody that has a first lien on that property has a property interest in those properties. And we can't necessarily be changing a property that somebody else thinks they have something on. So I'm just saying that should show up in a title report of the current property owners and any encumbrances on those properties. And then if any of those encumbrances on those properties have an interest that they need to sign, I used to sign plots all the time in the city, and then in my previous occupation as a consultant, we would make sure that all of the liens and all of the property ownership are clearly spelled out. And if you're changing it, they have to be a signature to it. And maybe the HOA and those CCNRs have that authority and they're current. I just want our legal counsel to verify that. Not that you're not doing a great job, Jack, at it, but as
The problem with the title report, and I tried to get one kind of going when I started this, there's no conveyance. There's no reason a title company really wants to even get involved. That's the real problem.
right, yeah, but you can always pay to get a property.
Yeah, well, they don't make money doing it like that. But
I know,
okay.
I know, but I've done many transactions and I've been involved over the years where you get a title report. Otherwise, you're signing this plat and you have all these interchanges of ownership. You don't really know who owns it. And so does the HOA really represent all of those interests?
I'll have Natalie, who's the HOA's attorney, contact you, Cameron. I believe that the HOA management committee has this authority. I'd almost be shocked and surprised if they didn't.
They very well may be. I'm just asking that our town council sign off on it.
Yeah, can I just clarify? We're only talking about amending the property for the expansion into the common area, correct?
Correct.
You're only amending that portion, but you're amending the entire plat, because if I read your description, it's an amendment of the Sugar House or Sugar Plum Phase 1 plat. So that means you're amending the entire plat.
That's correct. That's correct. We are amending the entire plat.
Touch one, touch them all, in other words.
But the only change in property is the common area, correct?
And
No.
or private, because we've detailed out which areas are private now, which is a little bit different than the original plat, because other folks, unit owners, have enclosed spaces in the back because they had snow piling in also.
So what they've done is they've caught up of 40 years of changes that have gone on in this plat. And again, I applaud them for doing this. But what you're doing is you're amending basically the entire plat, not just the one unit.
Correct.
Yeah, I think I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think I understand what you're saying, and I think we can certainly look at that and verify who the proper signatories are to that. I don't have a problem with that.
That's
So
the
let's go back
motion.
to
I'm
the,
sticking to it.
but what about the motion, the part of the motion, the title report? I don't think that's totally resolved, is it? We're asking for a title report to make sure there's any sort of encumbrances on any of the units?
Or who the owners are, or, if you're signing a plat and you're changing the ownerships within that plat,
We're not doing that. Stop there. We're not doing that.
you don't know, I don't know that, because again, if there are lien mortgage holders over that have a first lien on that property.
Well, but
That's
all
where
we
the
all we care about is who holds the deed. That's what we care about. The deed's
Okay.
gonna have the owner and whoever has a lien to that. And so I'm perfectly fine verifying the deed holders to all the various properties and ensuring that covers what we're at. But if there's a lien holder, like a mortgage company or somebody with a contractor's lien, that has nothing to do with the town planning commission or the town at all. That's
Okay.
between the property owner and the lien holder. And
Right.
I don't want us to insert ourselves into that relationship. There's no privity in that transaction, that relationship.
And I agree, I'm not asking to insert, all I'm asking for is that at the end of the day, the town of Alta, backed up by the town's attorney, are comfortable that the people that are signing this plat have the authority to do so.
Yeah, and I'm comfortable that we can do that without a title report, because the problem with the title report that I can see is it could cost a lot of money for the property owners, and we may not actually learn anything from the title report, depending on how old the property is, what the circumstances are of the change of ownership. We just really want to make sure that whoever has the current deed is authorized to sign off on the amendment.
And I'm comfortable with that.
Okay.
Okay. Jeff, do you want to amend your motion then about with respect to item number 1? your
Well,
title?
just, that the town attorney is comfortable that the signatures being shown on this plat have the authority so to sign.
Okay, so amended. So we have a motion to approve with the single condition of we get a determination from town legal counsel to clarify as far as the appropriate signators to the amendment. Is that an accurate reflection?
Yeah.
All right, very good. So we have a motion on the table for that.
And I will second that brilliant motion by Jeff.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Let's bring it to vote. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so it's a unanimous approval. Thank you. Good discussion. So let's consider that done. Jeff, I think I just want to go back since we've approved it. I think what you're saying is we want to make sure the town is not at risk in any future change of ownership. Is that so that some underwriter in 5 years for Wells Fargo says, hey, wait a minute. This isn't reflected accurately. when I'm doing my due diligence for the square footage or the property description. Is
Or
that,
another cell, you know, and whatever. And all of a sudden they say, whoa, back in 2023, the town approved and signed, you know, these changes that are reflected, and somehow that impacted my property value or this particular property we're trying to sell. We just
Or legal
don't want the town to be in some liability loop that it doesn't have to be in.
no, okay, I think.
And
we're
then,
on the same page.
unfortunately, or fortunately for the town, and unfortunately necessarily for the applicant, you know, they are updating 40 years of history. And it becomes the current event that somebody can come back and file some sort of claim against. And
They
So-
probably won't let me in Sugar Plum because all their taxes are gonna go up because there's more private space in there.
Well,
Yeah.
that's just it.
I think the alternative would have been worse, John, in terms of now there's an updated plat and there should be a recording of the actual property with this. And the 40 years before, I guess all sins are swept away clean by a new plat, and they will have to face the change in size of their unit with the assessor.
Yes, I think that's right. I think it seems like we've been doing a little bit of this lately as a planning commission, kind of a little housekeeping, historical housekeeping, so to speak. So I think that's good. Let's keep it clean and moving, nice and clean moving forward for all parties involved. Owners, assessor, title, recorder, all that. So I think
And-
we're good.
just, you know, not to, based on my experience within Salt Lake City, it was ultimately the mayor that had to sign off on the plat. You know, like I as a director and all the city departments and, you know, would all sign, you know, off on the plat, but then the one that has the final authority would be the mayor of Salt Lake City. So I don't know if that's not the case for the town of Alta, and it rests with the commissioner or the chair of the planning commission.
Cameron, did you research that? And I'm happy to do whatever
Yeah.
direction we determine. Let's assume you'll get back to me.
Yeah,
and-
we're a different municipal organization than a
Right.
class 1 city, and so it changes a little bit, but along with that, the town council also recently delegated many of the mayor's executive authority to the town manager, and some of those are going to by statute just simply fall to the planning commission chair. But for sure, I would take that along with verifying that the signatories, including the town, are the correct individuals authorized to do that.
Okay, great.
Right.
If it were a powder day, I'd be there tomorrow, but we'll figure out how to get that signed. So,
It could be a powder day on Thursday, just a couple inches.
yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of rocks. We'll get that taken care of. So Cameron, we'll be in touch. How's that?
Cameron, how long will that take? This, you know, to get my title blocks right for the county recorder and have everything right for me, it'd be nice for me to like, say, contact you in a week or two or something and say, oh, this is all right, or no, you have to change this.
Yeah, I think I can get you an email by the end of the week. I just did some quick online searching as far as the online deed recording. And so it's got a listing for everybody. So I think I can get you an answer by the end of the week.
That'd be great. Thank you.
And we have authority to do e-signatures on this type of document. Is that legal? Or does it have to be wet?
They have to be wet.
Okay, that's fine. We'll make that happen.
I've had to travel around with the Mylar and sign on the hood of the car before just because they've got to be wet.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Whatever works. Okay, Jack, we will work forthwith to get this resolved. Okay,
Okay, great.
thank you, everybody. Next on the agenda, next meeting, and we would normally be meeting right around Thanksgiving for, if that's where we want to go. Let's see, what is the date of the potential next meeting? Let me look that up.
Tuesday, isn't it?
Is it-
Isn't that the default?
The 23rd,
Well, if it's a
mm,
Tuesday, the 28th.
Yeah, it's the 28th at 3 o'clock. John, Chris, Mayor, do we have, other than it's probably too early for a ski about, too late for a walkabout. What other?
Yeah, I mean, we,
Anything anyone can think of in terms of an agenda items? Happy to meet.
well, John Neffsat, I know you and I had some email back and forth about Open and Public Meetings Act training, which we're supposed to do every year, but given the frequency of our meetings, we don't always get that done. So that to me seems to be a reason to meet. It's always nice to approve meeting minutes from meetings when action items are in the record sooner than later, in my opinion. So,
Okay.
that would be nice. Something that I shared with John Neffstad in that email that would be of interest to the commission, I think, is that we are
Thank you,
moving
Jack.
towards.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jack. We're moving towards hosting a facilitated retreat for the town council, kind of a general visioning and strategic planning theme. And I know we've talked a bit about long range planning commission, and haven't gone so far as to decide we're going to invite the planning commission members, but it has occurred to me, and I think I hope it's going to be an opportunity for the town to kind of draw a line in the sand and move forward from that, and then we'll figure out how the planning commission is a part of that. So we're looking at I think the end of the first week of January for that, and a couple of days following the town council meeting. But we could add a November 28th meeting, if I got the date right, the final Tuesday of November, we could discuss that. We could discuss that retreat and what kind of direction the planning commission ought to receive.
At a minimum, I would like to get the training done if that's an opportunity. Just, is everybody clear that there is a requirement that we do have, was it annual, Chris? I forget, annual.
Annual.
Yeah, and can we get someone from the MAG or someone from the league to come in just for us to do that? Or do we do a recording of what's being offered now?
Polly does Open Public Meetings Act training. Cameron may as well, but we could also, I'm sure there's someone from the league might be interested in, could perhaps provide some other kind of training. Meg Ryan would be interesting. I talked to her the other day, so. But Polly does that, has done that a couple of times for us for the council.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, I think that's fine. I don't know how the other commissioners feel. I'm okay with the meeting on 28th. This is going to be strange coming from me because I've been pushing for in person, but this is one where maybe we keep it virtual because which is a certain irony there that I'm proposing a virtual meeting for this training session, but I'm okay with that, but I don't want to make a commitment without input here.
I'm okay with that.
Dave?
I'm good with that, John. Remote's fine.
Okay.
Yep, I'm good because right early the next morning I'm heading out of the country, so.
Okay.
I
Why
think Cameron.
don't we plan on that, Chris? Let's plan on the training. What is that, a 50-minute session, something like that?
A half hour, maybe.
Half hour.
But
Okay.
we'll see. I'm sure there are different, approaches to providing that training, so.
What's the feedback in terms of the town getting back to someone at the state level to certifying that we've done this? Is there a process for that you need to worry about?
I don't know about that. I don't recall ever notifying the state that our public bodies have received training. If there's a requirement, I suppose we should learn about it and comply with it, but I'm not aware of one.
There didn't used to be, you
I didn't
just
think there
had
used to
to
be, but
basically be able to document the fact that you did do the training.
I think, yeah, we have an agenda, we have an attendee, we have a screenshot we could do a screenshot of the
You
Zoom.
can
meeting,
submit
something
a
like that.
form to the state auditor, and they kind of keep track of the records if you want to do that. There's no requirement to do that.
Okay.
And I have two other follow-up pieces of information if I can barge in really quick.
Please do.
First off, as far as meeting, the state legislature changed the allowance for completely remote or online meetings, we do have to have an anchor location, which is why Chris is at that location. And so it's totally fine if you want to have all the commission members and the public be remote. We just do have to have one physical anchor location.
And that's fine, yeah.
If we don't have an exception for justifiable reason. The second thing I wanted to follow up on, just looking up the state statute, Jeff is correct. It needs to be signed by the land use authority, which would be the planning commission chair. And let me read this, signed by each owner of record of the portion of the plat that is amended. So we'll need to make sure that we get the ownership records from the deed and have those listed on that amendment. And so I can go ahead and work that out with Jack, but so good job catching that, Jeff. I didn't know that.
Oh, well, it's just having done probably hundreds of plats over my career.
Okay, good. So Cameron, you'll bird dog and make sure that all signature, are there 5 units, 6 units, whatever that was?
7.
7.
7. Yeah.
Okay,
So in the end, it's not the guys from the HOA that sign, it will be all the individual owners, correct?
And the HOA, because the HOA has the common property. So
Correct.
because we're involving all of those, we've got to get all of them on there.
so those 8 signature blocks there plus
Yeah.
2 to 3 others. Okay. Okay, so will you work with Jack directly to make sure that documentation is prepared?
Yeah, I'll just shoot him an email with the state code section, just say, hey, here's who it is. I've looked at the people online. So assuming he's gonna have better records of who they are. So assuming they're the same as the online, we can just go with that.
Hopefully it's not complicated trust or hard to find somebody to sign, but that's not.
I think there's one trust, but we just have to get the name of the trustee.
Okay, so that's really not our problem though. That's
There's
Right.
theirs, right, okay. Oh, good, we have a topic or two, and we're gonna do a hybrid anchor location with those of us who choose to be online. And or we can always show up, depends on the weather and our schedules, on November 28th, 3 o'clock. We're agreed there, good. Chris, you'll get that out. Well, it's already a standard appointment, I believe. That's great. Before we close, other things to consider. It's October. Maybe another thing we can talk about in November is what some ideas for the 2020. I can't believe I'm going to say 2024. Wow. Topics for us, big picture, little picture, micro, macro for 2024. If we want to, in the past, we've tried to identify some themes or some topics. I don't want to talk about that today, but let's talk about that in November. Give us time to think about that as far as any details. But let's put on our thinking caps between now and the 28th. And other items anybody would like to bring up before we call it.
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. Going once, okay, all right. Maybe at that meeting, let's identify some things, I think anything's fair game in terms of what we want to talk about. We've talked dark skies, fire protection, evacuation. All sorts of things going on up there in terms of roadways and gondolas and you have it. So I don't want to get too deep into other people's actions, but let's just have a brainstorming session on the 28th. And I'd like to keep that to a manageable time, 30 minutes or so. And just to get the juices flowing for 2024. Okay. Anything else anybody wants to bring up? All right. If not, I'll look for a motion to end our October 24th meeting of 2023.
Well, I'll move that we adjourn.
All right, very good. There's a motion.
I'll second it.
Jeff will second that. All those in favor? All right.
Hey.
All right.
Oh.
All right. Thanks. Thank you very much.
all.
Yeah,
See y'all.
thank you, Cameron, we'll
Take
be in
care.
touch and everybody be safe.
All right, see ya.
All right, see
All
ya.
right, see
Thanks,
y'all.
everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.